And welcome back to the Chopping Block presented by Garden State Sports. My name is Andrew Hefner alongside Dylan Shaw. And unfortunately, after high spirits last week and celebrations, we are back to our same old ways. The Rutgers Scarlet Knights suffer an embarrassing loss on the road 35 to 13. Still only one win in Big Ten play to Illinois. Kaliak Manis, only one touchdown on the day, 25 for 45 on passing attempts, which I think is just a pretty ridiculous number considering what our like running room looked like coming into the season. Because at that point, why you should never need to have 45 uh, passing attempts in a game like this. Luke Altmyer, I mean, he was as advertised uh, last night. 235 yards, 4 touchdowns, only one interception. So, I mean, yeah, just pretty bad game overall. I personally didn't watch it. Dylan, I know you did, and you said coming into this recording to kind of give me a feel of what the game is like, you just said punt, punt, punt. So, Dylan, let's get your first overall take on what you thought of yesterday's game.
I mean, that was why, even though the score doesn't show it, this was one of the probably, besides the Oregon game, the worst game we played all year, just on both sides of the ball. The offense was so stagnant all games. Like, we didn't have like any of like the offensive scheme we usually run. It was like it would either be one drive full of three pass plays and like pass, 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 three and out, or maybe one first down and three and out, or like 3 runs or like 2 runs and a pass on 3rd and long. It wasn't like a good mix of, play calling, and it's like, I mentioned this in the article, like, not Purdue, sorry, like, Illinois kind of figured out what we were doing, like, our offensive scheme was, like, too predictable yesterday. It's almost like every team has watched film, like, I don't know, I guess there are film sessions, right? Like, they've been watching film, they see what we like to do, these quick 10-yard slants, these deep balls, jump balls with KJ Duff and Strong, and then, like, the in between the tackle runs and RPOs, they know what we run, and it's like they were ready for it, and Illinois' defense really stepped up yesterday. It's a team that's been, abysmal on the defensive side of the ball. I saw a stat mid-game. We have the second best third down conversion percentage in the Big Ten, I believe, and they had the worst stoppage, like third down stops in the league. And yesterday, that wasn't. You would look at the score, you look at the game, you wouldn't think anything like that. They were great on that side of the ball. They held this pretty stout offense to a really, really poor game. Don't let the numbers fool you. I know he had 20 incompletions, but don't let the numbers fool you. Like, Cali Manis did not play good. He had one touchdown. It was a garbage time touchdown to KJ Duff. He was really, really inaccurate in the first half. I mean, there was on the first couple of drives it was promising drives to begin the game. Like, we got down, it was like a 26-yard field goal. And it was because Alec Manis was missing high on a lot of his receivers. And then it was kind of odd. I haven't seen this. Like, Ian Strong, KJ Duff, and Alec Manis have like built a really good kind of trio. They play well together. They seem to be on the same page almost every route, right? Like, that's their reliable targets. But Alec Manis seemed to be really like off, and like there's many miscommunications I was kind of like confused about because that's something that can't happen. If you're gonna at least give our guys a shot. Those guys are both NFL receivers in the future. Give them a shot. But that was kind of an issue. On the defensive side of the ball, I didn't like I don't see like the miscues say like obviously we gave up 35 points and they looked terrible, but the miscues of like not getting set before the snap, that wasn't there. That was good. They were set. Like the miscues of the downfield 50-yard passes and the 50-yard rushes, that wasn't there. Yesterday's new mistake, new prevalent issue was Luke Altmyer destroyed us on the ground with his legs. At the end of the first half, he had like 96-yard rushing, him personally. I don't know what he finished the game with. They kind of calmed down their offense after they scored early in the third, but 96-yard rushing in one quarter, and it was some crucial third downs where he got us yards. Like, it was just like we committed full like solely on QB pass rushing and just limiting like the receivers that completely forgot about Altmaier's legs. He's not the Damon Williams. He's not the Mark Gronowski that we played already, but he's a very capable rusher, and they didn't really change their defensive schemes, and he's kind of just abused us. And there's one drive. This is the drive where Pharaoh Nagao don't know how to pronounce our guy's name, but made an incredible play for an interception. But the play before that, it was a 3rd and 17. We sacked them the play before, and we just played like prevent coverage, and Outmaier just scrambled for 20 yards, and no one was even in sight. And it can't happen. Luckily, we recovered, but like can't happen. And these are like some of the mistakes. Like every week's for something new with this defense. So yeah, no, not a good week, and like
Yeah.
it's just like so frustrating after such a good week last week.
And I want to point out, I mean, you're talking about the rushing, 210 rushing yards to 59. And I mean, I guess shout out to Sean Benjamin for being our leading running back now somehow into Big Ten play, despite what we saw at the beginning of the season and stuff like that. So good on him for, I guess, jumping into that role the best he can. Um, but just it gets worse every week, it seems. And the win last week, like we'll talk about like how nice it was, how refreshing it was to finally kind of see that back. But I mean, come on, we won by a field goal to Purdue. It's not, looking back at it, you're excited for it in the moment. I know we both were. I mean, come on, you're not going to beat Illinois by winning by one field goal versus Purdue, and you're certainly not going to beat a couple of the other teams that we still have coming up on the schedule. I mean, after last week, I said maybe Penn State is an opportunity for Rutgers to really kind of wake up and show the rest of the Big Ten that they're kind of still going with some of these powerhouses. And I say powerhouses because Penn State historically is one. Of course, right now they're struggling in ways that no one could have predicted really coming into the season. And Rutgers is struggling way more than them. I don't see a way that we win that game. I don't see a way that we may even be bowl eligible come the end of the season because you're looking ahead to Maryland, which now is a must-win game, which is scary, I would say. Then you have Ohio State, which considering what happened with them this week against Penn State, and then and I will say, I mean, Penn State was within 3 at the half, and then they didn't score, and Ohio State ran away with it. So that's Rutgers' problem as well, which we've seen over the last couple of weeks, not scoring in the second half in those tight games. But either way, a must-win game against Maryland is not a situation that they should be in at this point. And I mean, after that, you then have a must-win versus either Ohio State or Penn State. And I don't know how realistic that is at this point now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like this is like who would have thought early August, that Maryland would be a do or die game. I was like, Maryland's a game where we get to 8 wins or 7 wins, and we have a shot in the dark against Ohio State and Penn State to pull off a miracle and get like one of the best seasons since who knows when, right? Like, and now we're here at sorry, 5 wins, 4 wins, fighting just to give us a shot at a bowl game against Penn State, which we have been historically bad. Like, I don't even know when the last time we beat Penn State, 1997 or 1998, something like that. I mean, never in Big Ten play. I mean, it's honestly like one of the, and we call them their rival. Like we do like saying something like on our third downs, like when we do this thing, we like go like that with our 3 fingers. And for some reason, the student section likes to do F Penn State. Penn State, bro, they do not do F Rutgers. They don't care. They don't consider us a rival. We need to show them that we actually can beat them, and this is the year to do it. So I'm not like that game. If we can beat Maryland, will be a very fun game at the stadium. I think the fans will come. I hope it'll be. I'm pretty sure they've already considered a night game. They could change that with how bad the teams are, but I believe it's a night game. You know, that's going to be a game that hopefully will decide bowl eligibility for Rutgers, maybe even Penn State with how bad they are. But like back to this game, it's just I know you said like there's no shot of beating Illinois after you because like we beat Purdue by 3 points, but every team has like an off week. Like Michigan beat Purdue, I think by like 4, 1 score last night. It was very close all game. Michigan looked terrible, and that was at home as well for them. And like every team has these random weeks, and Illinois was coming off a loss at Ohio State and a loss against Washington, and like obviously those are two now currently ranked teams, but they could have easily dropped a third in a row. They could have easily been like, all right, now, we're down two, college football playoff hopes are done. Like we're like they're gonna come in morally defeated, but they didn't. And they came in with like hopes that we can recover this season still. And with the back half of the season remaining for them. And the Scarlet Knights, like, they did not. They were like, I don't know where the like the morale of the team came from, like or went, sorry, like it looked like such an emotional victory for Shiano last week and that, like, they were gonna turn some things around. They needed that one win in Big Ten to, like, kinda get themselves back on track. They were struggling, one-score games here and there, right? But it just wasn't there yesterday. Like, I pointed this out in the article. There it felt like there was no sideline energy. In order to win a game, like, on the road, you need sideline energy. You need your guys be pumping up, your players every play, no matter good or bad. You need some, like, spirit, you need to show Illinois that they were here to play, but we didn't. And, like, besides that one interception, I could tell the sideline was a little hyped for that. But besides that, there was nothing going on. It felt kinda dead, and Illinois took advantage of that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I like I said, I didn't watch the game. I didn't see what like the specifics of it were, but going through the stats and looking through what's happening, I mean, you're right. The stats are the biggest lie um, I've seen in a long time. With somehow Caliac Manis being equal on passing yards to Altmyer, who had the game of a lifetime in terms of touchdowns and just the types of plays he was making. Um, it's just kind of it's sad because you know that if Calic Manis is able to stay on par with him and still be one of the top passing leaders in the Big Ten, and yet you're at one Big Ten win, that's just an absolutely ridiculous uh, stat, really. That I don't know when the last time that's happened, where you have such a pass heavy quarterback who's had so much success with it, and then the team is just terrible, like really really bad. Um, and
I mean, yeah, like, you're saying that I we saw, like, something there was, like, a podcast, like, a Rutgers guy, like, pre-Illinois Rutgers game, and he, like, brings on a guy from the opposing team that, like, covers them, and they talk about it, right? Like, not, like, argumentative, like, just they talk about it, and they were ranking Big Ten quarterbacks, and the Illinois guy had Altmyer at 5, and Calikmanis at 14, 14 of 18. First of all, that's just blasphemy. Like, that's just not true. I mean, Calikmanis going in had the most passing yards in the Big Ten, and I don't care about the record, the teams. We're just comparing quarterbacks. But like, yeah, the record guy was like, what is this, right? But after yesterday, who knows? Altmaier like outplayed him on a whole other level. Like Calikmanis was missing every throw after every throw. I thought there was some stat like Ian Strong only ended up with like 6 catches, but had like 14 or something targets. And those are all like these 10-yard out routes, 10-yard slants. And that means that Calic Manis is inaccurate. And that is just not good out of our guy who's supposed to be kind of carrying the load. And on top of it, I don't know how tall Ethan is. Like, let me see. Is it listed? He's 6'3". That is not short at all. That's a good height for a quarterback. And it's every game this year that his passes are being batted down at the line of scrimmage like at least 3 to 4 times per game. And I kind of like at first I kind of like shook it off. Like it was like, all right, what is it? It's just like coincidence. But now it's not a coincidence. Could be the O line getting bullied and then the D linemen get their hands up. But also could be Kai Menes just throwing it too late, too low, not kind of fitting it through like the
well,
gaps
I
and
mean,
an
the other
issue.
thing is you should never have a problem with throwing it too low when you have a 6'7" and a 6'5" wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, I mean, just throw the ball off for them at that point.
Yeah, but, like, why isn't KJ Duff just going up for it on pretty much every single?
I mean, yeah, you didn't watch it yesterday, but like there was a play. It was I think like I don't know what the score was, but it was like he chucked it up downfield and it's a little late of a throw, but Duff kind of waited for the ball to get to him, instead of going up and going for it. And then another one was like where it was back of the end zone and the guy just tapped it out. But I think if I don't know why we don't one time per drive just throw it up to him. Every time he's covered, he has a 5 inch at most. I mean, at the least, um, inch like difference between his corner. I mean, he's a little bit of cheat code. It's like Megatron. You can't guard him. You can't. If you high point the ball, he's gonna out jump you every time. It's gonna take a great play or like a bad throw or a drop. Like I don't understand, especially when it's like 3rd and 20. There's some times where it's 3rd and 20, we go underneath or run the ball just
Yeah,
like to
yeah,
play for the punt.
yeah. Just like it's a shovel pass, and for some reason, like on those third and longs, and we think that,
Just
like, and by the way, a key part of that also is maybe why Antoine Raymond or whoever else, Ian Strong's getting hurt if we're just dumping off passes on 3rd and 20 and hoping that they're just going to start breaking tackles and running through people to go
oh my God,
20 yards.
this was the worst thing I ever watched in my life. It was they just scored to end the half practically, 21-6, whatever it was, and we had like 25 seconds to go. We threw one kind of like not like a prayer, but like downfield pass, incomplete. It's fine. And instead of passing the ball sorry, instead of kneeling the ball and just giving up, you're not getting 30 yards in 20 seconds as Rutgers, who's done nothing all game, right? Just kneel the ball. Come on, we're down 15. We run the ball. Oh no, I don't even remember what it was. We ran the ball, and our offensive lineman got injured. Oh, I'm down. I don't know if he came back. Actually, no, I don't think he did come back for a while. And it's like, what's the point? Just kneel the ball out. You didn't you don't get injuries. Like bad coaching, bad coaching. Yeah, and then 3rd and 20, just lob it up to Duff, pass protect, get your big O linemen in, just give him like 5 seconds to get down to the markers and give him a shot. No one can guard him. He's the best receiver in the country, in my opinion. I firmly stand on that. I don't think there's like maybe Makai Lemon or something, like Jacoby Lane. Maybe you guys can say these guys are better because they're more elusive and stuff. But purely off yards and efficiency and even competition, it's Duff by a mile. And I really hope he stays here because there are going to be some SEC schools, some Big 12 powerhouses, some Big 10 powerhouses that are going to throw a bag at him because he's not going to be like a receiver four on those teams. He's going to be receiver one or two.
Yeah,
And I
and
don't even know if he had the money for it. I really don't.
the thing that sucks about it also is I'm not seeing really any good relationship forming between Shiano and any of the players, or really even between some of the players. Um, I mean, Kelek Manis will be gone. I don't know what's happening behind the scenes when it comes to the what the quarterback relationship will be like with some of these wide receivers potentially next year. Um, like it's a gonna be a tough scene, I think. Um, and the fact that Shiano is still kind of now just sitting around, still making the same mistakes, it doesn't seem like teachable. I would like if I were one of these receivers, I don't think that Shiano is capable at all of leading them to having a better team next year. Um, and personally, whether it's for the money or not, I would leave because of coaching and kind of what that situation is like right now. Especially if I were a defensive player, like I don't know, um, who's a good defensive player anymore. If any of the defensive players that have done anything good this season, I would get up and leave immediately because no one on that defensive coaching staff has any intent of helping to grow their game or make them into someone who may potentially be draft eligible or like a NFL prospect in the next couple of years. Um, I
I mean,
wouldn't.
that's like partially true. The defensive one I agree with. I don't really see anyone want to play for this defense. I saw something. I don't know if it's true. It's a rumor. So our new AD, um, her name is let me see, something Zin. Kelly Zin. Kelly Zin. I heard something where she shut down Chiano after he wanted to fire Rob Smith. post Oregon game. There's like a rumor. I mean, obviously these rumors could easily be debunked, but there's a rumor where he wanted to fire Rob Smith post Oregon game, and Kelly Zinn said no. And I think it's something where she's realizing that Shiano likes to be involved with everything. He's not the type of coach to let the play callers just do their thing and let them run their units. And last year when Kirk Shiraka came, it was the first time where Shiano had no say in what the offense does. It was all Shiraka. He couldn't call the plays. It was just Shiraka making sure he knows what he's doing in the offense. And look what's happened. 2 really good years offensively, right? Rob Smith, on the other hand, hasn't got that. Um, or I don't even know if he does have the signal, but when hiring a defensive coordinator, I bet we didn't get our guy because Shiano was saying, if you do come here, I will have a say in what you do, and I will veto some stuff if I don't like it. And I almost think that's like something that kind of makes coaches not want to come here to play under Shiano, to coach under Shiano, because they're not going to get the free will to do what they want to run their own style. It's going to be under him. And I think Kelly is trying to put an end to that almost because she's trying to kind of put her authority over his because she does have more authority over him. I think she's kind of making sure, no, Shiana, you're not firing Smith midway through the season. You're going to hold out. We're going to talk about this at the end of the year and then move forward. Because the first step in the offseason might be to fire Rob Smith, but the second step is immediately go after the defensive coordinator that you want and make sure that the defensive coordinator knows he will have the free will to coach how he wants to coach. And if you have that, and if you get your guy, then you have a chance to keep some of your defensive players. And then if you have a good defensive unit, the offensive players feel like, okay, this is not as bad of a team as it would be, and I want to stay. Because as much as KJ Duff's going to get attention outside of Rutgers, if Rutgers throws him a bag and there's a subpar team waiting for him, he will stay. Because as a high school senior, we were only one of the only teams who heavily recruited him. And if he's somewhat loyal, he'll stay. And he lives in Long Island. Like it really just takes like the first step of making sure you have your personnel and making sure Shiano like approaches this with the right step.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I think coaching, uh, I mean, the coaching doesn't get shaken up in the offseason. That's a whole nother problem. But we'll see what happens there. Transfer portals can be ridiculous this offseason for every team. But I think especially Rutgers, where you're looking at guys that, in my outside opinion, are way too good to be playing for Rutgers. But yeah, we'll see. But next week, Maryland, 2:30, must-win game. You need 2 more wins to be bowl eligible. You're sitting at 4 right now. So you're going to need to win versus Maryland and get a win either versus Penn State or Ohio State. Versus Penn State. We'll say you're going to need to win versus Penn State. So let's see if they'll do it. Thank you, everyone, so much for listening to the Chopping Block. Again, another Rutgers loss to Illinois. Rough one. Still 1 win in the Big Ten. So
And shout out Kyle Monangai, 198 yards from the all-purpose yards today in his first start. Antoine Raymond should stay.
Rutgers out there making now 2 successful starting NFL running backs. So we'll see what happens to Raymond, or maybe even just Sean Benjamin at this rate. Who knows who's going to be making carries in the next couple of seasons. But like I was saying, thank you everyone so much for listening to the Chopping Block. We'll see you next week.